Now, I'm sure by now you figured out that accounting is full of very weird words. And book is an accounting word that you've obviously heard before by reading books, but it doesn't mean what you'd think. You see, in accounting words, book means to record or to finalize. So the question we're looking at today is, when can you finalize a sale and actually record that in your own income statement? Now, there's some specific rules about this that you have to keep in mind. Revenue should be booked when the sale is finalized. Now, wait a second, Leighton. You just told me that booking means finalizing, so revenue has to be booked before it's finalized or finalized before it's booked? That doesn't quite make sense. Let's take a step back real fast. Remember those 4 rules that we had regarding revenue? That would be proof of sale, we had to deliver the good or service, we had to be able to calculate how much it was, and then we had to be able to collect or think we're going to collect on it in the future. So those 4 rules help us say that yes, this sale has been completed. Now remember, none of those rules really touched on actually getting money from your client. So we just found out something. For example, let's say I own a video editing company, and what I do is I get sent video footage, I edit it, then I send back a full-formed advertising or commercial for that company. And then they send me money later on. You see, as long as I can believe that I'm going to collect on that money, all I have to do is just send off the final version of that advertisement or commercial, and I'm done. My sale can be recorded without them actually giving me any money. So because of that, you may not actually see money before your sales have increased, just because you did your half of the bargain. Now, as long as you believe they're going to give you money down the road, they don't even really have to do their part until later on, and you can still book that as revenue. Now, this is a key concept in accounting, the ability to record sales without ever actually getting paid for them. And obviously, as you probably have imagined, this is a way a lot of people actually manipulate sales, because collectability just has to be kind of more likely than not. Some companies will actually say, well, of course, this time they're going to pay us, even though they haven't paid us the last 10 times. And so they'll record a sale, even though it probably isn't ever going to actually hit their books. They're never actually going to get the money. So, for example, right now the world is being affected by coronavirus, which is very unique in its own specific way. We might talk about that later in another video. But a lot of airlines owe money to Boeing. When Boeing first made this contract with the airlines for planes, parts, things like that, I'm sure at that point in time they had a really good reason to believe the airlines are going to pay them. However, no one's traveling now. And so what you found is that Boeing actually recorded a lot of sales from these airlines that at that point in time they were not being wrong about. They thought they were going to collect money from these airlines. But now airlines' profits have completely dropped and they don't have any money anymore. So Boeing, should they still have all those sales recorded in their income statement? The answer is probably not. And that's what they have to do with something called a write-down, where they go back in time and they actually change what they said was going to happen on their income statements at that point in time. And it might also be called a restatement of the past. So now Boeing, what they're going to end up doing is restating their revenue numbers to say, oh, we thought we were going to make $1 billion last year, and actually it's going to be closer to $100 million this year, because no one paid us. And since we already delivered our parts and our half of the bargain, we were just waiting for money from the airlines, we thought we were good to go. Unfortunately, they were not. And it's not something that they did on purpose. It's just how coronavirus has affected Boeing and the airline company in general.